Welcome back, learners, to another special episode of Tech Course Mastery. In this episode, we will be mainly dealing about demystifying the misconception we have about electric current and how drift velocity is not all the thing, and how electric field sets up electric current in a conductor at the speed of light. So enjoy the video, it's for you. Electric current flows due to the flow of free or conduction electrons through an electric circuit. Electric current is conventionally taken as the flow of positive charges, hence opposite to the flow of electrons. It is also depicted in the equation I equals NEAVD, where I is the current in the circuit, N the number of electrons per unit volume, E equals the charge of one electron, and A the cross-sectional area of the conductor, and Vd the drift velocity of electrons, the average velocity with which the electrons move through the conductor. Hence, current is directly proportional to the drift velocity of electrons. Faster the electrons flow, faster the current flows in the circuit. Hence, speed of electric current should be equal to the drift velocity of electrons. Or is it? Let's see. Electrons, being negatively charged, flows from the negative end to the positive end of the conductor, and electric current flows from the positive end to the negative end of the conductor. So if we have a simple DC circuit containing a DC source or a cell, a switch, an electric bulb, and few meters of copper wire, the length of the wire from positive terminal of the cell to the bulb is 1 meter, and from the bulb to the negative terminal of the cell is also 1 meter. When we switch on the circuit, the electrons start to flow out from the negative terminal of the cell through the wire and to the electric bulb. As soon as the electron starts to flow through the electric bulb, it glows. The electron flows from bulb to the positive terminal of the battery. The speed of electric current in this case would be same as the speed of electrons, also known as the drift velocity. But the drift velocity of electrons is about less than 1 millimeter a second. Then if we switch on the circuit to cover a distance of 1 meter, it would take about 1000 seconds, which is 16 hours and 40 minutes. Thus, the bulb will take about 16 hours and 40 minutes before it starts to glow after it has been switched on. That would be the lag in the circuit. On the other hand, when the circuit is switched off, the electrons would stop coming out from the negative terminal of the cell. But still, some electrons would be flowing through the bulb. Hence, the bulb will remain on for a considerable time, which is about 16 hours and 40 minutes even after switching it off, because of the slow-moving electrons flowing through the bulb. This is going to happen after the circuit is switched off. The bulb is going to glow for a certain while and then go off. But in reality, this is not the case. Light glows almost instantly after we switch it on and stops glowing as soon as we switch it off, no matter the distance of the wire between the switch and the light. So let's see what happens. But the real question is, how does this happen? Where is the misconception? Let's dive deeper. When the circuit was switched off, there was no electric current and no electric field. As soon as the circuit is switched on, almost instantly an electric field is developed throughout the circuit, due to which electrons present everywhere moves in the direction opposite to the electric field, that is towards the positive terminal. The speed at which the electric field develops throughout the entire circuit is much higher than the drift velocity of electrons. When the circuit is switched off, it instantly goes back to the initial state where electric field was zero and there was no current in the circuit. When we switch on the circuit, a potential difference is applied across the circuit by the cell. As a result, an electric field is established, which is given by E equal to minus dV dl or V equal to line integral E dot dl. Electric field shown in yellow color acts like an invisible fluid flowing through the entire circuit at the speed of light. This electric field originates from the positive terminal of the cell, passes through the bulb and terminates at the negative terminal of the cell. The electric field travels in vacuum with a speed of light, which is 310 meter per second. Electric field travels inside a copper wire with a speed of 98 to 99% of the speed of light, hence very fast. The electric field is hence developed inside the entire circuit in moments. This almost instantly created electric field affects all the free or conduction electrons inside the entire circuit almost at the same point of time and pushes them together to move towards the direction of the positive potential. This push sets up motion among all the free electrons inside the copper wire almost instantly after switching on the circuit. Hence, current is set up through the entire circuit at the speed of light. If c is the speed of light, then to cover a distance of 1 meter, the electric field or electric current will take a time of about 0.0000033 microseconds only, which is near to instantaneous. From this discussion, two things are very clear. Number one, electric current is initiated by the movement of electric field at the rate of 98 to 99% of the speed of light. Hence, there is no delay or approximately very little delay between switching on the circuit and the light starting to glow. And number two, once electric current is set up, it is then continued by movement of free electrons or conduction electrons until and unless the potential difference becomes zero and or the circuit is switched off. Now let's see what happens in an AC circuit. An AC source produces time-varying potential difference and time-varying current. The potential difference versus time graph of a alternating current is shown in the figure. Each complete cycle is divided into two parts. The first half cycle shown in red, which is positive half cycle, and the second half cycle, which is negative half cycle, is shown in blue. The time taken for one full cycle is capital T or the time period, and F is the reciprocal of time period, which denotes the number of full cycles that the waveform completes in 1 second. The polarity of the source changes many times a second, about 100 times a second for 50 Hz frequency of supply in India and 120 times a second for 60 Hz frequency of supply in USA. The variation of AC voltage versus time is basically a sinusoidal curve. As you can see here, the circuit is in switched off condition. As soon as the circuit is switched on, it is the first half cycle of the alternating current. The electric field is set up almost instantly at the speed of light throughout the entire circuit in the direction as shown. The electrons everywhere in the circuit starts to move instantly almost in a particular direction that is opposite to the direction of electric field. Hence, with the onset of electric field, instantaneously current is started. Now for the second half cycle of the alternating current, the direction of electric field gets reversed, but this time also this happens almost instantly, almost at the speed of light. Hence, the electrons present everywhere throughout the circuit starts to move almost instantly as soon as the electric field's direction gets reversed. So the direction of motion of the electrons gets reversed instantly and the current flows through the circuit without any delay. Hence, during each half cycle, when the polarity is fixed for a time of t by 2, electric field and hence the flow of electrons is set up in the entire circuit in one direction until the next half cycle starts. Hence, the electrons moves in one direction for a time period of t by 2, which is the first half cycle, and in the opposite direction for the next half cycle. This happens for a number of times. This situation can be imagined like moving a chain back and forth in either direction inside a stationary hollow pipe, with the movement starting as soon as the circuit is switched on and the movement is stopping as soon as the circuit is switched off. The things that we can conclude are: number 1. Electric current is initiated by the movement of electric field in a particular direction at 98 to 99% of the speed of light during the first half cycle. Hence, there is no delay between switching on the lights and the light starting to glow. Number 2. Once electric current is set up in one direction, it is then continued by the movement of free or conduction electrons until and unless the first half cycle ends or the potential difference becomes zero and or the circuit is switched off. Number 3. Electric current is initiated by the movement of electric field in exactly opposite direction at 98 to 99% of the speed of light during the second half cycle. Hence, there is no delay between switching on the circuit and the light starting to glow. Number 4. Once electric current is set up in the opposite direction, it is then continued by the movement of free or conduction electrons until and unless the second half cycle ends and or the potential difference becomes zero and or the circuit is switched off. Lastly, the frequency of AC is high enough to not allow dimming of the light when each of the half cycles end and the potential difference becomes zero. Hopefully, this discussion does away with the misconception that you had regarding the flow of current. If you have found the video useful, please like, share and subscribe and keep watching Tech Course Mastery for more videos in physics and maths. Thank you.